died on the cross, the temple in the curtain in the temple that separated the Holy of Holies was torn in two from top to bottom. Remember that? God initiated that opening into the holy place. Symbolic of a change in awareness and access. Well, I'm not suggesting anything of that magnitude or that scope happened, but I feel like in 2020, with the pandemic, God began an awakening of his people. I see evidence of that every week at home and in the interactions I have with people across our country and around the world. And to me, at this point, what is at the center of that is the patterns and the habits we had around our worship and our faith have changed. We used to go to church and be polite and do Bible studies. We would quibble about which kind of worship we preferred and which translation of the Bible we liked the best. That was kind of how we knew our faith. We were church people. And I don't think that the world changed in 2020, but I think God began awakening us to our circumstances in 2020. I think we had been asleep. Amen. And I believe the reason he awakened us is he intended us to be busy in a new way. Busy in responding to him. It's not enough to go to church and we have our doctrine correct anymore. We have to be the people of God in the world. We have to live in his authority and his power and his strength. How many times do we have to hear a sermon before we start to go act out the truth that we know? Right. And that's when that curtain was torn in two. It meant, you didn't have to have all the intermediaries any longer. It was going to change all the rituals and the traditions and the habits. And I believe God is busily deconstructing a lot of our habits and our rituals.
Battery's dead.
We prayed for that. I'll be back on the blue bus tomorrow. So I think today is a really good focus point for that, because we're going to see Jesus' ministry, and it was something that the people had never seen before. And the commentary on that was he taught with an authority. They were used to synagogue, and they were used to priests, and they were used to rules, and they were used to kosher rules, and Sabbath rules. But Jesus taught them with an authority that changed the world. And it caused people to reorient their lives. And they were no longer content just to be religious or traditional or keep the rules. They had met a person who demonstrated to them a kingdom. And I believe what God is awakening us to is his kingdom. Yeah. We have been too far in the world and not far enough into his kingdom. Amen. And so, this use today is kind of the touch point for that. We'll do a little commentary in different places, but that's our goal, that we come back from Israel, not just with more facts. We're educated way beyond our obedience already. Listen, we want to come back from Israel with an awareness of the presence of the Spirit of God and the person of Jesus and what God will do in our lives. And I couldn't think of a better place to kind of start that walk on the Mount Beatitudes. We want to serve you communion, and we would like to have a brief prayer with you. If there's something that you're carrying in your heart and we can agree with you in prayer, we would love to do that. I don't know that this is the precise place where Jesus preached the Sermon on the Mount, but we can say it's within a few hundred yards of where we are, and that he most certainly ministered on this hillside, which is pretty remarkable. Amen. So I asked Tony if he would read us a rather familiar portion of Scripture.
Now, when he saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you.
Thank you, sir. So I've recruited the bussos, their staff from the church, and we'll serve you. Give you a piece of bread, you can dip it in the juice. We've all learned how to be a little safer. That common cup isn't quite as exciting as we have. And then if there's something we can agree with you in prayer about, we'd be honored to do that. And after everybody's been served, we'll have a prayer together and just a moment of worship. And then you'll have some time to look around the site. But before you've been served and after, stay in a prayerful mood and pray for the other people. We've seen more miracles from prayers we've prayed here than any place we have been in Israel in all the years. And I'm not suggesting that this mountainside is holier. I'm just suggesting it's a time we know the Lord's met us. So it'd be unfortunate to come to Israel and only come to take pictures. So you could post something on Facebook to compete with your friends for their summer vacation. We want to experience the Lord. Amen. And if that's your prayer, I think that is more than a worthwhile. But whatever that may be. So, Kathy and I'll be serving and praying too, but I promise you our prayers are no better than the rest of these folks. In fact, theirs are probably better than mine. I've used mine up. If you're going to help us serve, if you'll get the elements,